If you use something that's like if the core is true, then you can like imagine something different. I mean, you can create another character with the true energy of that original person you're inspired by. And then there's no risk. I mean, you know, you can totally take a character who's introverted. It can be someone you know, but then you completely construct something fictional around it, you know? But then when you have this kind of tiny bit of truth at the core of it, I think it makes the character a little more interesting, you know? It's to start from something true. You know,
no, absolutely. 500 Days of Summer, for example, was a screenplay, and I was like, okay, it's on my computer for a really long time. I'm not prepared to show it to anyone. And then I was like, fine, I'll give it to my friends so they can laugh at me. That's really what the genesis was. Here you go, fine, here's the thing I was working on, laugh away, because it's so specific and it's so personal and I am a mess. And what the discovery was a lot of people being like, I totally relate to this and I see myself in that, and I was blown away by like something about it connected with other humans. I was like, okay, then maybe I should actually show this around. But it was, I blew my mind.
When it's true to yourself, I think it rings true to more people. I think in a way, you know, we're not that different. It makes you realize, you know, in our functioning, you know, and when you go deep inside, you can find something that a lot of people will relate to. You know, if it's completely constructed in a fantasy, you might lose a lot of people, you know. But if the core is completely true, then you're, you know.
A lot of times when people come up to me and talk about the film, the scenes they'll point out will be the ones that I took from real life. And it's nice in a way, but it's also frustrating that I can't imagine anything that matches the real things in a way. When you're writing the screenplay, it does give you a chance to create how you would have liked it to have happened.
When you're on set with something you've written, is it just your director's hat, or does your writer hat also come back in? Like, if there's a problem, do you think of it as a writer, or do you think of it as a director?
I kind of kill the writer when I'm directing.
Yeah.
But I kind of kill the writer because it's interesting. I kill the writer when I'm directing. I kill the actress when I'm editing, because if I look like shit, I'll put the scene in if it's good anyway. You know what I mean? Like I have to kind of kill parts of me every time. And I do have to kill the writer, because if I'm doing a scene and I'm like, something's not working in the writing, then I have to figure out something else, you know. Yeah. It's happened to me once or twice where I was like, the writing is a bit too written. We need to change something. So I actually didn't kill the writer. I went to rewrite the scene as the director, because it was visually not interesting enough and it wasn't moving enough, and et cetera, et cetera.
I do the same thing. I've done a lot of studio assignments, and when you're writing those, you write anything and you go, well, that's their problem. That's the director's problem. They're going to have to deal with this. It has nothing to do with me. Yeah. And now when I'm writing a scene, because it'll be my first movie, I want to make sure that there aren't a lot of moving parts. I want to keep it simple. So I even have to think, do I want a dog in this scene? Because that's trouble. You know, that could be trouble. That could lose us half a day if the dog doesn't act correctly. Yeah. And I don't want to yell at a dog. So you know, I do think of that when I've written a couple now for me to direct, and I'm not trying to take any of the quality away. I'm just trying to substitute something else and maybe make myself work a little harder to keep it interesting but simple.